Andrew, hi, Joe Mara here. Thanks for having me on the podcast. You asked me to come on and talk a little bit about pipeline generation. So I thought I would share a few things with you and your listeners on what we're doing in order to help generate pipeline. And as we all know, the last 2 years have been rough years with no one being in the office. Everyone was at their home office. So, you're calling and leaving voice messages that they're not receiving anymore, and you're sending emails and they're getting hundreds and hundreds of emails and they're deleting them because they're just overrun with all this information that's coming to them. So what we go old school, and it's about utilizing your current ecosystem. So number one is we go to our existing customer base and we ask them for referrals. We look at different customers that we would like to get introduced to, and we find out which customers have friends or know people in that organization. And you can do a quick internet search to find out on LinkedIn if people are connected and who's who. So as long as you're helping that customer solve big problems, a lot of times they are willing to make that warm introduction. So many people don't do this, and I don't understand why. It's so much better to have a warm introduction with someone than it is not having that when it's typically really a cold call. So, I can come up with one example where we had one customer who was utilizing our software, and they actually came to us. We were doing such a great job for them that they said, hey, I think that other states would be able to utilize this technology. We're happy to do a webinar. We're happy to do whatever we can. We're willing to be a reference. Just let us know. And of course, we took them up on that because it's not very often, when they're willing to do that, we have to make sure that we maximize that those type of intros. So next is we look at our community. We are an open source company. So if we need introductions, have questions, we do go to the community and try and use those. We do go to seminars, and there's a lot of great ones out there where you can have a warm introduction at a CIO roundtable. For instance, we went to one in December, and from that CIO roundtable, we actually got 7 executive meetings because I think they finally figure out we don't breathe fire and we don't have 2 heads. We are normal people just trying to help them solve big problems for their organization. Again, these guys get hundreds of emails a day. It's delete. You have to do something that's going to separate you from everyone else. So that moves me to my third point, and that is do your research. In the SLED space, most of the states have to put out a strategic plan. I make sure that every rep that works for me goes through that strategic plan before they ever call the customer. I say, do not waste their time. They're very valuable. They don't want to get on and you ask them what keeps you up at night. If you do, they're probably going to hang up on you. You should already know what's important to them so that when you get on that call, you're able to walk them through, here's what we can do. This is the problem that we see that you're having. Here's some of the people that are already utilizing it. And it's much better than, again, wasting their time. Customers are starting to see people, so it's so much better to be in front of them than it is on Zoom. So they may not meet you in the office, but maybe ask them if they can have a cup of coffee, or even ask them if they want to go out for breakfast. Something, get in front of them. It will help you build rapport so much faster. So those are my 3 things. Utilize existing customers and use cases. Work with your community. Go to trade shows and events, the good ones, and make sure you do your research before you talk to any customer. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate the time today. Have a good one.